Hey, folks, welcome to Get Rich 101. I'm your host, I'm Sacred Rights, and I'm here obviously with the guest, with the guest. So here we are with David. David, pronounce your last name for us.
Capablanca. I'm David Capablanca. So last name's Capablanca.
Very cool last name. So I'm going to get right into it since we got you here on the screen already. I'm going to get right into it. Let me just adjust my screen a little bit. All right. So I have not been able to ask anyone this question. Not been able to ask anyone this question, and so I'm very excited and nervous about asking someone this question. But you had a life challenge, and you saw past that in order to get into trading. And so I wanted to ask you about that, and I want to say for me that my situation is the same. I suffered two strokes, the second of which was lethal, and I was able to come back from that. But it was quite a long journey, quite a long journey. And as you hear, I'm still getting tongue tied. That's was it agoraphobia? Aphasia. That's my aphasia kicking in. And so I am very much focused, I think, on the same things you are. So help me understand how that was for you.
All right. So maybe I don't know how much you know about my story, but yeah, I had a similar situation. I had a brain operation in 2010. I don't know. Are you aware of that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit, but just a little bit though. Just ULC, UCLA, right?
Yeah. So how did you become aware of it? Just so I know where to start with it, because this is like it's kind of crazy. You know.
Wikipedia, Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. Okay. Yeah. So um yeah, 2010. I had a brain operation and the recovery was like around a year, but like it's just lingering stuff. It's just stuff you just get used to over
Right.
time. How long ago did you start having your issues?
Oh man, I had my stroke on July 20 24th. My July
Oh,
14th.
okay.
July
So
14th.
this year,
No, that was 2020.
4 years ago.
2022. 2022.
Okay,
Yeah,
4 years
but
ago.
as you know, these things seem like they go away, but they can't keep coming back. So that's a very short distance for me, a very short time period.
I got you. So in my case though, and like mine was a pretty severe case, everyone is different, you know what I mean? But in my case it kept improving over time and like, you're still gonna have like some symptoms that are always it's just like a new life. But
Yeah, sure.
it just the brain is very resilient, it keeps healing. So like but like I had a lot of stroke symptoms, and like, I went through it all in 2010, 2011. So like it was tough, man. I had to recover for like a year in bed, and like afterwards a year just getting into a lot of exercises. Like I still do calisthenic workouts every day.
Right.
I still do facial workouts every day. In the shower, I have this like thing I just chew on hardcore. It's like the face workout.
Oh, really?
It's not that
Wow.
hardcore actually. It's just like I do like 80 reps of that in the shower every day still.
Wow.
Um, you know, uh, and just a healthy diet. I take a lot of vitamins for my brain. I want to think as clear as possible because
Mm,
I actually had a lot of stuttering problems.
yeah.
I don't know. For me, it seemed a lot worse than what it actually was. Because, like, if you look at my earlier podcasts, around 2021 is when I started the podcast. I spoke not as clearly as I do now. And I think that comes from just repetition of speaking on podcasts all the time. Because in 2021, when I started my podcast, the Friendly Bear podcast, from nothing, I just did a lot of podcasts to make up for the lack of viewers or whatever, just to get it going. And I will do podcasts every day, just interviewing everybody I could, anybody in trading that I could. And I think, and like you could see me stuttering a little bit or like kind of struggling through it,
Mhm.
like you get to see now, if you look at a podcast now these days, it's a lot different than when I first started. And not only because of the lack of practice, but also I was going through that, like, the speaking, like you're saying, like I had that stuttering myself.
Yeah.
even that was 2021, even 10 years later after my brain surgery. So
Mm.
like, but like with trading, with which is what I do for a living,
Wait a minute,
um
before you go
you know,
on,
you can,
I want to interrupt and say that
yeah.
my life is exactly the same. I started a podcast. I went back to it early before I was ready to go back to it. My mentor said, "Come on, you can do it." And so I came back to my podcast and speaking day, every day. And that's how I've gotten my voice back to where it is. And it's not by far, it's far from it was initially, but it's just doing it every day, no matter how you feel about it. It's helping me. It's helping me. So I did the same thing you did.
Yeah, man, repetition is important. And you know, with like brain stuff, even though you're stuttering, it doesn't make you, you know, dumber. It's just like you just have it in your head. You're just internalizing. You're just like, I know with trading, I knew I could still study, I could still read, I could still like perform, but when I speak, it was harder, you know? So like just, but it doesn't mean, you know, so but if you like with anything, just practice over and over. Like it just it goes beyond like what the doctors say or what anyone's. If you just like that resiliency, the human can do some incredible things. People,
Yeah.
you know. So like I know when I was recovering, for example, the doctor told me, "Oh, you can't do exercise, you can't do this," and I would still. I remember at UCLA, I entered a push-up competition, and I was barely even like getting. I was like just going on a bike to lose weight. I gained so much weight back then because I was in bed, and I was just going on a bike, struggling to lose, you know, just to shed the weight. And
Right.
I saw a push-up competition. They put a poster for it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna join it. And like I was in no condition to join a push-up
Right.
competition. And I told my mom, I told the because my mom was taking care of me. I told the doctor, I was like, I'm gonna join this push-up competition. And he's like, no, you can't, no. And I started doing push-ups in my own like crazy way, like you know, barely even one. And and then the next time I saw the doctor, because I'll have frequent visits to the doctor, I told him, hey, I'm entering this. And he's like, no, you can't do that. It's crazy. Like you know, you gotta rest. I told him I'm doing it. I don't care.
Right.
And
Right.
'cause I always had that stubbornness in me, you know, and like when I and he's like and I started doing them like one or two and like like I was in no condition to do it, but like I was doing just one or two, but struggling so hard. And
Yeah.
then I told the doctor I was like I'm gonna do it. I don't care, you know, like regardless of what anyone says. And he's like, all right, just do it, but if you have a lot of pain, just stop. And that was enough. And that like one push up in a few days, I did two. In a few days after that, I did four. And by the time the push-up competition came, like a month later, I was up to like 50. And this is
Wow.
like 6 months, I would say almost, no, probably like 8, 9 months after the operation. So like, for a brain operation.
Wow.
So I was able to do 50. And I think the competition, the person that won had did like 55, but that was enough
Wow.
to like give
That's
me a lot of
incredible.
confidence.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
That's
So
incredible. And it reminds me of something else of mine, something else. So after my stroke, I decided to run the marathon, run my first marathon. And a lot of people said no. A lot of people said no. Here I am, like 3.5, 4 months off a stroke, talking about I'm going to run my first marathon. And they were like, no, 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 no. But I stuck to it. I stuck to it, and I ran my first New York City marathon, and I made it. I made it. I made it. But I had to fight a lot of people saying no. I had to fight a lot of people saying no.
yeah, that's amazing, man. So you're in New York?
Yeah, I'm in New York. Yes, yeah, I'm in
Nice,
New York. Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, that same. So I had a similar experience. So like around that time, I was saying, I would go to the UCLA track and I would try to jog because I had to like learn how to do everything all over again. I had to learn how to type. I had to learn how to speak. I
Yes,
speak Spanish, so like I had to learn how to speak Spanish again. I remember
right.
listening to my grandma on the phone.
Mm,
She would speak to me in Spanish. And like I would listen, I'll understand, but I would struggle to speak it. And
wow.
then like it just takes practice, and I started getting the hang of it again. But it's
Right.
just like I had to learn everything all over again. So yeah, running, I same situation as with the push-ups, you know. I just was a little bit of like try to jog, and then a little bit, then it's almost like a skip, and then it's a jog, and then it's like one lap becomes
Yes,
two laps becomes
yes,
four laps.
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Right there
man.
with
And
you.
then the
Right there
same.
with
So like, yeah, the marathon. That's impressive. So
you.
a lot of times, it just takes that. You got to be just resilient and just it's like you got to know when to take advice and when because people care about you, they want you to, they want your best interests, like your parents or
Yeah,
whatever. But like at the same time, like I know when my mom was holding me back from doing all this stuff, I was like, I can't, like, I gotta, I can't live like this. It's just like I had to do something about it. So a lot of times just taking action and then just seeing it through, um, and just yeah, man, it's a tough situation. It's like it's like for me going through all that made me a lot stronger, and
yeah,
it's a gift. But when you're able to survive from it and
yeah,
make the most out of it and recover and succeed, but it's something you want no one to go through. It's so tough. But
absolutely. So,
it actually it can make you better in a lot of ways. So
yeah,
to see it as like an opportunity and taking advantage of it and like becoming like the best you can afterwards, it's really powerful, man.
right.
It's like the
That
marathon you did.
said,
That's incredible.
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, saying so, we've had the same mindset. Now, help me apply it to trading because I read on Wikipedia that you were trying to fight things, right? So, tell me about that.
Yeah, man. So I got in a lot of student loan debt
Yeah,
after the brain surgery because it delayed my
right,
my grad school by like damn, like I was supposed to graduate 2000, yeah, like 3 years. It
right,
delayed it by 3 years
right,
because the classes only come once a year. And if I'm not in sequence with it, they delay it further. I have to do repeat the whole year, even though I did all the electives and stuff.
right,
And the architecture classes I was in architecture grad school. They're very demanding. They require like a lot. It's just like so demanding, like just like trading. It's just like that demanding. And I was coming off a brain operation, so I couldn't do all-nighters and all that crazy stuff. And also like in the architecture studios, there's a lot of like chemicals and sawdust and 3D printers and laser printers and painting and what is it called? I don't know. What not like sawdust? What do you call it? Like I forgot what it's called. I even forgot what it's called. But yeah, it's just very toxic, and I had to rest. I had to like get a lot of sleep because I was
right,
recovering. So it
right.
took another couple years to finish school, and the whole time I was accumulating debt like
Yeah,
crazy,
crazy.
and because I was out of state. So out of state tuition is even crazier, and then the medical bills even crazier. So
Right.
at one point, it's just like you get, and I was financially illiterate the whole time,
Yeah,
so like I'm
yes.
just
Same as me. Same as
yeah, no, I understand completely. I didn't know what the interest rate was. I just knew I'm in school for architecture. I'm gonna get a master's. I'm in a good school. I did really good in undergraduate. I had a good portfolio. I had good recommendation letters. I had everything, the best that I could possibly do. So I was like, I did my job. So
okay.
like, I didn't think I would get screwed,
Okay.
and I got screwed, man. I got screwed. But
Yeah,
like, the good thing about this, it's like, it's the schools are they're they're made to be profitable these days, even the public schools. And it's just like out of hand what how the student loan the university business is. And yeah, unfortunately you gotta learn the hard way sometimes, and sometimes it's like when you're six figures, multiple six figures in debt after you just got a degree, it's supposed to
right,
be the best degree out there
right,
of architecture. It's like I'm an architect. So I didn't study some bogus major. And then like when I go to the real world, I got to do another 3 years to get licensed, and
right,
it's for $25 an hour.
right,
So it's like okay, this is not gonna work. But the beauty about being in America is that there's always a solution for everything. So I didn't have like the victim mindset or anything. I was like, okay, so my parents both came here from my mom from Cuba, my dad from Iran, and they were able to, you know, like succeed in their own way.
Mm,
It would suck if I was born in Cuba or Iran. So I was born in Miami. So it's like, man, um, I can find a solution for this. If they found a solution and escaped their situation, I can find a solution. So I was like looking for just high income skills. I started to listen to um, really good stuff on the internet. I started to adopt these mentors on the internet, several mentors, just successful people. Even these days, I go on Instagram, I follow like really successful people.
right,
It's just like YouTube, the same thing. Just like who are you listening to on a daily basis? So it's like I was in search for like a high income skill to find a solution for all my debt.
right.
Um, and I started to pay attention to interest rate, to credit cards, like my debt, and like okay, paying down what I can, and just getting into good habits that honestly I should have had while I was in school, but unfortunately in
Yeah,
school they don't teach this
they did
stuff.
not teach
If
you.
they would have if they would have taught this stuff in school, I would have learned it. I would have absorbed it easily because I was so focused on doing well in school. But unfortunately, they don't teach it in school. It's
Nah,
messed up. So
yeah.
you know, these days school, it's like you can get your own school on YouTube or, even, on podcasts, audiobooks is actually it's almost better than I did, university. I'm actually going back to my undergrad university in about a week. They invited me to do critiques there for architecture
Oh,
school, and I gave a lecture there like a month ago. And I love the University of Florida, the Gators. I didn't get any depth over there though. So
yeah, right.
but like I learned a lot in school about like life and about like, just general culture. I traveled for the first time to Italy, but like I still didn't learn anything about finance, about interest, about APR, about what a mortgage is, about anything, about
Before you
like,
get to
you
traveling,
know,
before you get to traveling to Italy, so you studying all these people, you got got them downloaded. I assume Tim Sykes is one of those people because that's where you and I connected. Tim Sykes, right?
yeah, so I started with Sykes. I started with a lot of things, So I have a whole bookshelf right here with like I don't know, 200 books.
Wow,
You go to my audiobook feed, I have around 100 audio channels that I follow for stocks. I have audiobooks. I have like 200 audiobooks collection. I went to Puerto Rico in 2021, spent the whole year
that's what
there.
I want to talk
I
to you about. That's what I really
so
want to talk to you about.
but
So,
before I get there, it's like no one mentor is the reason why you succeed. So it's like, I
mhm,
just want to make that very clear because people don't
okay,
understand. It's like no one mentor saved me. No one mentor. In fact, some mentors told me not to go to Puerto Rico. I did that on my own. They said, "Hey, it's a lot." I interviewed over 200 traders. Some traders, I used to ask them after the end of every podcast, every single podcast, say, "Hey, so what's your favorite trading book?" Because I wanted to read it myself.
right.
And a lot of traders that were successful told me, I don't read any trading books. It's a waste of time. And now, as a 7-figure plus trader, been featured everywhere, did everything I'm supposed to do and
Sidebar,
more.
we
I got
gotta
a
shout
book.
you out there. We gotta shout you out there. Did you say a 7-figure trader?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's been verified by Business Insider multiple times, and
That's incredible.
you know, I got a book coming out, podcast, everything. I've done everything, and like now looking back at the people that told me, "Oh, I don't read many books," I think that's limiting yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to excel or give yourself the best chance, because like when I was started the podcast, I was 6-figure trader, maybe like just starting out, 6-figure, just hit it, and when I heard that, I was like, maybe I'm doing too much here. Maybe this is too much analysis. And
Mm,
now that's wrong, So I trusted my gut. I was like, you know what? I don't agree with that. They're successful, but like I'm gonna take this. I need to give myself the highest chance to succeed. And
right.
I thought about it deeply. I said a couple of those people that said that to me, they started out in a different scenario than me. They didn't have the crazy amount of debt. They didn't have the limited amount of funds. In fact, a couple of them already started with like a PDT account and stuff. And, just different scenarios. So like in my position, I had to put myself in the best chance to succeed, which is devour. Like the work ethic has to be insane, like
Mm,
insane. Anybody that's already doing it insane, I wanted to 2x that.
okay.
So I did the right thing, and the books are very important. You should you want to, because since this is not like education that you can get on in a school or anywhere, you got to do it yourself. It's a school of hard knocks. A school of hard knocks means it's on you, man. You got to do it like to the max. So
Okay.
that's why I always sought to get as much information as possible, books,
Okay.
podcasts, everything. So it's like when a mentor, it's like, online is cute and stuff. People were like, "Oh, look, David made $1 million," and like, I'm so proud of him. And people think that it's because of this person that I became successful. It's like, no, I did all the work. I
Yeah.
spent in this office in 2020. I lived in this office 20 hours a day. I was sleeping there. I'll
Wow.
be up for the pre-market. In fact,
Wow.
people in my communities at that time, mentors, they would tell me not to trade the pre-market, and I made my first $200,000 in the pre-market. That was
Hold
life changing, you know.
Pause.
So
Pause a second. So trading the pre-market, what do you mean by that? Like I'm an amateur, so help me understand what you mean by trading the pre-market.
yes, so in 2020 and 2021, it was a lot of people staying at home, and it was and people were given money, and when people are given money and staying at home, and then you have like influencers and let's say like what's it called, Barstool Sports guy, I forgot his
Yeah.
name. He's a New York guy.
Mm,
He's doing live Instagrams and live YouTubes,
okay.
stock trading. They're like bored at home now. They're stock trading. Now
Okay.
everybody's stock trading,
Okay.
and so there was um there was a lot of liquidity in the market, and then also the uncertainty of COVID. Um, in the pre-market 1 a.m. here in the West, Coast, 4 a.m. for you guys.
Yeah.
Uh, the market opens, and like people were when there's a lot of uncertainty in the air, people want to be the first to buy, and they're given money. It was a perfect storm. So like when a COVID stock or a biotech stock says, "Hey, we have masks, uh we have ventilators, we have
Right.
Clorox, we have this," like the stocks will surge. People will want to buy that before the market opens.
Right.
And we had Robinhood back then,
Right.
not able to trade the pre-market.
Mm,
So, it was a lot of like new stuff. It was an unprecedented amount of volume in the pre-market, and it's changed the game. So 2020 and 21, a lot of stocks would spike up exponentially and then just fade all the way until the open. So I noticed that being awake in my office, because I was doing all-nighters here every night, and I didn't have a place to stay. I just stayed in here, and I did
wow.
that on purpose because I was like, I need as much study time as possible, so I
Wow.
might as well just stay in the office all the time and study.
Wow.
And so
So,
I
so wait a
and
minute.
I noticed the fades, and I was like, that's when I started shorting them. But yeah, what's that?
Okay, so with with trading the pre-market, you mean you're just watching it to see what it's going to do? Is that what you mean?
Well, yeah, back then I would watch it after a month of watching it, and I saw spike up fade, spike up like for a month or a month and a half straight, and I was like, all right. I saw people in my communities like making a lot of money. They were like, uh, j- I would say like they had like a year of knowledge, a year or two of knowledge, and then now the opportunity that was that was there, they would get, like, I saw them grow to six figures pretty quickly. Even a couple six-figure traders that were before 2020, now they're millionaires. Now they're millionaire traders. So I was like, I need to, and I studied enough and I knew about history. I knew in 2019, 2018, because I started 2016, I knew, okay, 1999 was a bubble, dot-com bubble. That's gonna happen again one day. Every 5, 10 years, here's an opportunity. 2008 was another one on the bear side. Um, we had a weed mania, Bitcoin mania. We had the dot com boom.
Yeah.
It's like then you study history, the Roaring Twenties and the Dutch tulip mania, the South Sea bubble. All these bubbles throughout history, And I was like, once I understood that, even as a beginner, I was like, okay, I just got to be prepared for the next one. And then
Okay.
when 2020 happened, I'm like, all right, this is the one. Then when I saw the fades in the pre-market, I was like, all right, I need to get some funds together. And where there's a will, there's a way. I gathered some funds to get over PDT, and then 29,000. And from 29,000, you know, I grew it as I don't know to like 100,000, and then from 100,000, I took like a 2 month break, November to January in 2020. I went to South America, and then I came back 2021. It was even crazier. I thought it was gonna because of the meme stocks, and
Right.
that went even crazier. And I still only traded pre-market. And then I went to Puerto Rico for a whole year. People told me not to go. They're like, you're not ready, this and that. They
Right.
told me not to go. I still went, and that was like one of the best decisions I ever did.
Okay.
I started the podcast over there to infiltrate. I wanted to learn because traders don't want to share, or like they don't. Not that they don't want to, is that it doesn't occur to them to
Mm.
share their information because it's kind of like a profession where everyone's for themselves. And when I interviewed people, I networked, and then like from everybody you learn a little bit. And then I met one person. He invited me to Michigan. I flew to Michigan to learn how to trade in the day. I didn't even up to that point I was strictly a pre-market trader. And then when I was there in Michigan and I saw him trade and I learned from him how to trade intraday. He held my hand kind of. And then after that, I went back to Puerto Rico again and learned from other traders in there. Now I had built my confidence, and now like I'm trading pre-market, regular hours. I start, getting better and better, and over time, yeah, here I am after that. So,
Wow.
um,
So I
you
got
know,
lots of questions. I got lots of
yeah,
questions. So I'm still not understanding trading pre-market. You're saying that you watched it, but then you were able to trade, like you can actually go in and trade something during
yeah,
pre-market?
yeah. So pre-market from 4 a.m. till 6:30. Well, yeah, 4 a.m. to 9:30 a.m.
Mm.
The pre-market is open. It's just not as much liquidity. You
Okay.
can't now OTC stocks are not available to trade, but Nasdaq and New York Stock Exchange you can. So now
Usually
the
what?
liquidity is not there. But like what does that mean? Like you know, even to this day I don't trade with a crazy amount of size. People that are like trading millions of shares or something, they can't execute in the pre-market,
Right.
because like it's not enough liquidity. But I can make $500, $1,000, $2,000 in the pre-market. That's good enough, So, um, you can trade. It's just like you have to be it's very, very selective. Like I have these, even like these days, I have like one pattern in the pre-market, and that's all I'll trade.
Okay.
And that doesn't come around that often. But
And
like
so
if I'm awake,
so
yeah.
this is something, what are you trading with? What's enabling you to buy during pre-market? Because I'm trading with Webull and I haven't seen that availability. So is it something that I'm trading with?
Well, yeah, so Webull you can buy in the pre-market. You can. They're actually pretty good for
Oh,
buying. It has no commissions or whatever. I
if I'm
short
over
sell. I short sell
PDT,
with Cobra.
if
Oh,
I'm
Bill,
over
you,
PDT, if I'm over PDT, is that what you're
yeah,
saying?
you can trade pre-market below PDT or over PDT.
Okay.
Um,
Wow.
but I do it with the short selling broker. So like it's more a specific broker. I use Cobra. Um, But yeah, like I've been you can also use interactive brokers. Back then I was using interactive brokers. And yeah, you have to use a direct access broker. And I don't know if Webull's direct access, but it gets the job done. You can trade with Webull at 4 in the morning. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Okay. Well, shoot, man. That's interesting information. I didn't know. Um, so we're coming up on our time. So let me think about what I want you to talk about. What I need you to talk about is like compare yourself to like that thing that you say that like trading $1 up until X amount of dollars. Like you've done that several times while we've been talking. But what's like the pull quote that really defines your life as a trader? Like from $1 trading up to whatever amount? Like, what's your claim to fame?
I would say $1 stocks up less than $10. But I'm looking for scam stocks. I'm looking for stocks that have 250 million in market cap or less. I'm
Wow.
looking for I don't trade biotechs anymore. I don't trade Chinese stocks anymore. And it's not I have a lot of, it's not because of the Chinese like whatever. It's just like they're just scammy, They're super scammy and they run them up they target short sellers, and it's just like I want to put myself in position where the stocks are just easy kills. One of the books that I read, The Market Wizards, one of the market wizards, he has a big painting of a cheetah behind him. I
Okay.
might get it actually. And the cheetah, yeah, the cheetah, it's an apex predator. It's the fastest land mammal, has one of the strongest jaw bites. It's equipped like to the max, but it
Mm,
goes after just like weak prey, like sick or maimed prey, you
mm,
know? Uh because like, if it goes after like a wildebeest or something, a large one, the wildebeest does one kick and the cheetah gets injured, that injury even a tiny injury gets infected, and now it loses a limb. And then if it loses a limb, it's gonna, it's done because it can't hunt anymore. So it's with that, it's like I want to do like easy kills like that. I want the 250 million market cap or less. I know the company is what it does. I know the people involved. You know, and it does a big move intraday off of like some dumb news, and I'm able with my technical analysis just hit it really nicely, and it just like I know how to trade it. I know where, if it goes too much, I'll cut it, and if it goes up because I'm a short seller, and if not, it's great. I do it again, so keep repeating that process. So yeah, just going after easy stuff, not trying to be a hero, not doing what everyone else does. I know everybody wants to trade the same stocks. I noticed,
right.
they want to get action. It's like, what are we doing this for? Are you doing this to get money, or are you doing this for action?
Okay.
Um, and just having good habits outside of trading as well, so it goes into your trading. All those habits I spoke about earlier,
Yeah.
with you. Um, I still implement them, man. I still do calisthenics. I still do all those same good habits.
Right.
I don't drink, I don't maintain discipline in all areas of
Right.
my life, and it just makes everything a lot smoother when it comes to trading. And not only that, it's just the quality of life is just improved. So that's the beauty about trading. Like all your good habits for trading, it's good for everything.
Mm, that's good. That's good. So I take that to mean that you've been able to pay off all your bills, right? You
Yeah, I've done well. I've done really well. I paid
yeah.
off all my bills. I've been able to finance my own projects, like the book I'm working on. It's been awesome. I want to do a documentary in the future,
Mm,
near future. Uh, the podcast has been constantly improving. Yeah, man, it's just life is good, man. Life is good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So now knowing my situation and similar to yours, but much more junior in terms of trading, what's your 1 minute advice?
Just it's a long-term game, man. Just survive your learning curve. I'll tell you that. Yeah, survive your learning curve.
Okay.
And stick around. Don't give up, and don't look to make money. I would say try to be break even for 2 or 3 years. You're actually winning big time. So
Okay. Okay. All right, folks, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Thanks for coming. And remember that now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. Anything else you want to say, David?
I like that. Now is better than perfect. I
Yeah,
like that.
it's
Yeah.
true. It's true. It's true. It's true. All right, folks, we'll see you next time. I'll see you later.